We are playing Musket Battles Antietam scenario at the brigade level. I have all the labels facing up so you can see them, but when you're playing versus an opponent, they're turned down so only you can see your troops. Now in this series of Antietam recreations, I'm attempting to force the southern crossing. Thus far, it has met with limited success, though I'm still hopeful. We begin with our early morning turn. Mansfield advances. Next, the detachments move out on a hill. Porter's 5th Corps advances around. Longstreet's artillery by Sharpsburg fires at the Union troops it sees on the hill, sending them tumbling back. Meanwhile, Longstreet's artillery by the southern bridge fires on some Union troops it sees in the woods, to no effect. Then Jackson's artillery on the hill also fires at the Union troops on the hill opposite. Only one block of troops still remains on the hill. Pleasanton's cavalry crosses the Antietam, while the rest of the cavalry, with some artillery, moves to a hill on the far left. Stuart slides his cavalry forward. Union artillery opens up on the Confederate left, and the rest of the artillery fans out. And then one final artillery fires, again, on the extreme Confederate right. Kershaw's brigade can't stand the heat, and they get out of the kitchen. And now it's mid-morning. Again, Jackson's artillery opens up on the hilltop, driving the remaining Federal troops off the hill, and the massed Union artillery fires. Longstreet dresses his line, just in time as Hooker charges across. Stuart's cavalry responds. Pleasanton's horse artillery opens up on Stuart's horse artillery, driving it back before they fire a shot. And now Hooker's assault across the southern bridge. Ricketts' Green Brigade is lost. And in the swirling mass of combat, Hooker secures the hill opposite the southern bridge. But outnumbered, Doubleday's brigade was unable to push back Kemper and Toombs' brigades. Here we have the Union casualties. Here we have the Confederate casualties. Now it's late morning and Franklin's 6th Corps arrives, and we begin with the Union artillery barrage. On the Union far left, the artillery opens up on Kershaw's brigade, and they're driven back for cover. And Fitz Lee's cavalry is driven back right into Union lines and is eliminated. Franklin's Corps crosses the middle bridge and begins to deploy on the reverse slope. Jackson's artillery fires on the only Union troops it can see, and opens a hole in the Union line. Now the first thing Longstreet does is his artillery fires on Doubleday's stragglers, driving them back. You know what? I'm going to say they've been driven back right into Sickles' troops, throwing them into disarray. Longstreet unpacks bags. He recovers much of McLaws and Walker's divisions, and he sends Anderson's division forward to drive the Yankees back into the Antietam. But Hooker's not done yet. The rest of Ricketts' division crosses, and Doubleday's beleaguered division gets a little help from their friends in Meade's division, and Sumner positions to force the issue. The Union troops reappear on the hill. Stuart reorients his cavalry. Late morning combat on the hill. And when the smoke clears with heavy fighting, most of Hooker's corps is pushed off the hill and back across the bridge. And now we pass to early afternoon. Much more needs to be happening for the Federals to secure the crossing. Longstreet believes he can set up his line back where it was to recapture the bridge, but he's worried about that deadly Union artillery fire. Anderson's division is very worn from the morning efforts, and he pulls them back. Same with McLaws' division. He sets up his own deadly artillery line, and Longstreet prepares a new defensive line. As ordered, Franklin brings his corps across, and the Union troops on the hill inhabit a sunken lane, and Porter's corps fills in behind them. Hooker unpacks bags, and Meade's troops cross the southern bridge, mostly repositioning this time, but General Sickles has Newton's brigade try the Sharpsburg defenses. They get sent reeling back. And now it's mid-afternoon. Will I remember to bring A.P. Hill's division on? It's easy to remember Franklin's Corps when it comes on because I add the chit to the cup. But A.P. Hill is a division of Jackson's Corps so I just bring him on, if I remember. Pleasanton's cavalry moves forward. Sumner's corps crosses. Hooker's corps moves to silence the artillery. Longstreet strengthens his line. And at long last, the Union right comes alive. Now Jackson moves. His line holds as it is. And A.P. Hill comes on. With the whole line being attacked, it's hard to tell where he'll be needed. And when the smoke clears, the Union assault has been driven back. The Confederates lost a lot of detachments, but these were already casualties. They lost no other units. North lost 6 blocks, but of course 5 of those are green troops. They just fall apart in combat. And it's late afternoon, and the North has now renewed the attack. Can the Southern line hold?
Let me pause the action for a moment. I want you to notice how the Union troops on the left, which are more experienced, outperform the Union troops on the right.
Alright, the dust clears. Jackson's line seems to be holding, but Longstreet's line is showing some wear. Still too close to tell. Now I've double stacked the Union losses. They've lost 15 blocks. 11 more and they're broke. But all this has been the easy green stuff. Although lots of detachments have been lost by the South, they've only lost 2 regular blocks. So 11 more Union blocks and they break, or 15 more Confederate blocks and they break. And it's got 2 turns to happen. Alright, so here we are early evening and the South is holding. But you and I can see the state that both sides are in. Were you playing versus an opponent with the labels facing you and only you, you would have no idea. You'd know how weak you are. You'd know how many spent units you had, but you really have no idea. You're not really sure how well the opponent is doing. And of course, you always see all your weaknesses and you can feel your opponent's strength everywhere. But here we are, 2 more turns to go. How's this going to play out? Well, first drawn is Longstreet, and that is huge because that means he can recover and set up his line before the North attacks. All of Longstreet's corps is within range of the bags. Any of them can recover. The artillery in front of Kemper's brigade fires, driving back Gibbon's brigade, driving back part of Sedgwick's division. Pleasanton presses Jackson's left. Franklin continues his forward push. Sumner drives on the bags. Hooker presses forward. Now Jackson steadies his line. Alright, Jackson stays where he thinks he must, and otherwise avoids fights that he probably won't win. The South has lost another full-strength block, but that puts them at 3 and the North at 18. So far the Northern casualties are 6 times the Southern casualties are. And the bags lay open. This looks like desperate times indeed. Being that the fight for the baggage train is so hot, I'm going to start doing alter turn order rolls if necessary. 6 Corps Franklin. He drives forward. Longstreet is drawn next. I need to roll a white background to jump ahead. And I do. So now Sumner has attempted, and he's successful. Now Longstreet is going to attempt to alter turn order. He is successful. Now Hooker attempts to alter turn order. He is successful. Lee is out of range, so Lee can't roll to jump again. So First Corps moves. Patrick contacts the bags. Gibbons contacts the Southern Brigade. And finally Ricketts' exhausted brigade moves up. But now Longstreet moves. He pulls out Kemper and puts in Featherston. Walker's, McLeod's, and Anderson's division come in behind. He has done what he can do. And now Sumner's men join the battle. And then the Union artillery opens up. Artillery on the far Union left. Southern artillery is forced back. The artillery in the woods also forced back. Pleasanton's light cavalry force rides ahead. Stuart falls back as the sun sets. Now Jackson takes control. Feeling there are a few Union troops left, Jackson takes a breather, builds his line. Mansfield drives forward with his last 2 brigades. Burnside unpacks bags. Porter's last, and he moves through the West Woods to protect Burnside's flank. His other 2 brigades make use of the unpacked bags. And now it's turn 7 combat. Now this combat is treated as if the bags weren't there. These 2 defenders are facing the Union forces. You can't be flanked when you're defending the bags. It's just like a fort. While the smoke clears, and the North has not contacted any of the Southern unpacked bags. And although they may look very exposed, the North is 3 units before the Federal troops break. They break at 26. They're not going to be able to do it because the South can just put too many guys around, and there's just no way they can get everyone, which is what they would need to do. And that would be fighting very desperately, and they can't afford any more desperate struggles. The South has destroyed 62 points worth of Northern troops, and the North has destroyed 31 points worth of Southern troops, exactly half. But we'll say the North unpacks or packs up their bags again and heads out. They're calling it quits. Lee has won at Antietam. Good game.